Chuvash literature, a literature and authors who are creating in the Chuvash language. Here, of course, we're talking primarily about the literature. Also, folklore should be considered separately. Place of the creation works and publications at the same time do not matter. History. The history of the Chuvash literature should be considered since the appearance in historical sources in the Chuvash language texts. Thus, we are faced with the need to speak in this context, and on the gravestones left Volga Bulgars in the XIII 14 centuries on the territory of the Middle Volga. Most of the tombstones are RL-speaking Turkic epitaph. Of course, consider them full-fledged literary works is not necessary. However, there is forever fixed Chuvash language times of the Golden Horde. Sometimes in plain text, you can find a certain artistry. There are plot development. The Chuvash language belongs to the Turkic group of languages. It is therefore appropriate to talk about the monuments of ancient Turkic literature, although they are directly to the Chuvash literature and do not apply. The ancient Turkic literature. About the ancient Turkic literature modern people have learned mainly by studying the monuments of ancient Turkic runic writing, and Manichaean writing and ancient Uyghur writing. The role of Volga Bulgars culture in the Chuvash literature. Chuvash literature created in the Chuvash language, which dates back to medieval Bulgar language. This is the principal value of the culture of the Chuvash Volga Bulgars in the literature. The second half of the 19th century, the current new Chuvash alphabet was created in the early 70s. 19th century I. Y. Yakovlev, a great educator and social activist. During these years, there are works of art in the Chuvash language, designed this new script. The highest achievement of the Chuvash literature of this period can be called a poem by Mikhail Fedorov, Azeri. It is written in 1884, spread among the population in the lists. It was published much later than the first time, in 1908. During these years, creating the works Ignatius Ivanov. He is best known as the author of a cycle of short stories titled How to Live Chuvash. Some of his creations have been published in the primer by I. Yakovlev, as well as many other works of the Chuvash literature. Bayonet XIXXX centuries. The starting point of this period can be considered 1986, when Ivan Yarkin wrote his first short story. He began his literary career. He's really a very large figure in the Chuvash culture and, in particular, in the literature. They were written in the year's major works of literature. Wealth. The man is full, but his eyes were hungry. Also I. Yarkin was known as a journalist. He was an active defender of the traditional religion of the Chuvash, that is, he was its apologist. Chuvash literature of XX century. See also category Chuvash writers.